Well, hello everyone, and welcome to a special Inside the Tap Room edition of Laurel Highlands Happenings. I'm your host today, Jared Bundy. We are trying a couple new things today. So we are in the brewery. We have a mic set up. We have a webcam set up. We're doing a video episode as well, and we're going to see how everything goes. So we have a very special episode for you today. We want to launch right into it, talk about all the great stuff going on with the Laurel Highlands and the Pour Tour, and then meet my awesome guests beside me here today. So let's launch right into it, get into my stuff, and then we'll get into all of the other amazing things going on in the area. So we're excited to announce that coming up, by the time you hear this, within days, Laurel Highlands Pour Tour 2.0. So this cover's a little glossy, but you can see it in the video. We'll put it in the show notes as well. We're excited to launch our 2.0 version of the passport. So if you haven't done this before, this is where you go and you get this physical passport or use the app, go around, collect stickers, and earn great prizes. And we've had so many amazing places that have opened in the Laurel Highlands that have joined the Pour Tour, have wanted to be a part of what we have going on, that we had to expand this thing. We had to make it bigger and better than ever, and even add new prizes. So we're excited to announce that is coming within days of you hearing this podcast. So check lhpourtour.com, download the Pour Tour app. That will be updated as well with the new stops and the new prizes, and you can be a part of it there. So that's enough for me. I don't want to talk the whole time. So let's get into our awesome guests today. So Jess, why don't you lead us off? Introduce yourself.
I'm Jess from the Downtown Greensburg Project and Greensburg Craft Beer Week, which I'm not sure when this airs, but I guess the week will be over.
Yeah, well, they'll be hearing it at the end of going into this weekend. So
okay.
yeah,
So it'll still sort of be Craft Beer Week. Yeah.
And I'm Sean McLaughlin. I'm one of the owners of Invisible Man Brewing. This is our brewery right here. We're in downtown Greensburg, 132 South Pennsylvania Avenue. And I'm just, happy to be here with Jared and Jess and, talk about a little bit of what's going on with us, Craft Beer Week, and the Pour Tour today.
Awesome. Well, let's jump right into it. So we're in Craft Beer Week. Mm-hmm. When this airs, it's probably going to be, towards the end of Craft Beer Week. So what do we got going on Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Why should I come out to Greensburg Craft Beer Week?
So Friday and Saturday, it's like the end of the week, but we do have some really good events. Taft, Brick Oven, and Poorhouse has been doing a brewery spotlight all week, or starting actually today, which is Tuesday. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. This is the fun of podcasts.
Tuesday,
when is this going to air?
But that runs through Saturday. So this weekend you'll be able to stop at Taft and pick up cans or growlers or crowlers from Sobel on Friday and Yellow Bridge on Saturday. Yellow Bridge is also releasing Yapped, which is our collab with Taft, on Saturday. Then we have charcuterie and beer, which happens here on Saturday, which should be a good time. That's a ticketed event that I think tickets go for the next couple of days.
Okay.
But I think we'll have some extras so people can walk in. But that's going to be a really fun pairing event. We have Oktoberfest for All Saints is on Saturday, which is their annual event. So that's always awesome. They release their Oktoberfest beer. They have live music and food trucks, and it's always really fun.
Excellent. Yeah. So, we're already almost a week into Greensburg Craft Beer Week. How's it gone so far? We're in the middle of a pandemic. Are things going well? Are people responding? Like, how's it going?
It was really good this weekend.
Awesome.
I think everyone was a little surprised on, because I was surprised on how well it went this weekend. Everywhere I went to Quinn on Friday and Yellow Bridge, here, Invisible Man, and a couple other just random events that happened, and everywhere was busy. So, and same with Saturday. We had a little block party on Saturday, which we didn't advertise purposely a lot because of COVID. We wanted to keep it sort of small. We wanted to just throw something. Mm-hmm. And even that had a really good turnout for not pushing it like we normally would push events. So, and that we had 3 breweries out, a couple food trucks, and just yard games that kind of just hung out on the street. So that was a good time.
Amazing. So a lot of smaller events and hangouts, but still super well attended.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of outside stuff, which is helpful, so people can spread out a little bit. So yeah, it's been nice.
Great. So for one of those events here, how do we come up with the charcuterie and beer pairing? Where's the idea for that?
I have a deep love for charcuterie and cheese. So I was like, so you're doing this event.
Meat and cheese and beer. I mean, those are 3 of my favorite things. Yeah. Just wrap them all together for, an event, especially during something great for Greensburg, like Craft Beer Week. It gives people a chance to try new things. There's a lot of people that enjoy craft beer, the whole scene that comes along with it in this area. I mean, that's why we, became part of the Pour Tour. I mean, that's why you birthed this beautiful thing. So, you know, it's nice for people to get out and like be able to like jump around to different breweries, go to different events, see what's actually going on instead of just going to like their normal haunts, you know, their normal like hangouts. So I know people from Delmont, you know, that are usually going to like, you know, like Yellow Bridge or coming down into Lake Trobe and Greensburg now to try different stuff, different places for these different events. So it's nice. It gives people a chance to kind of like branch out and realize like what the whole area has to offer.
And I do think like by having events, it makes going to a brewery not so intimidating as like if you're not a craft beer drinker, because it's like, oh, it's an event, I can go. You know, it's not like I'm going to go and they're going to talk to me about every aspect of this beer and I know nothing. So, you know, it's nicer. It lets people who normally don't drink craft beer to kind of come in a little bit easier and then get to try whatever they want, but they're not as like, oh, it's a brewery. You know, like, people do get like that. Like they don't know if it's going to be brewery culture where it's everyone's, you know, craft beer head where they're going to talk about beer the whole time or, you know, so it's kind of fun to see people who don't normally go out and about come out and kind of support the brewery. So
that's fantastic. And I mean, I think you guys are all in the same spirit of that. This has the same spirit of the Pour Tour. It's going out, it's exploring other haunts. You know, you're not going to your same place over and over, which is fine to do. And there's great places in a lot of our communities to do that. But the Pour Tour is all about getting out and trying the new places. And I think Craft Beer Week is the same thing. Yeah,
absolutely. Because, you know, there's bars and restaurants that participate that, you know, maybe would normally participate in something like this, but then it's bringing more people to those restaurants and those bars because it's Craft Beer Week. So it's good.
Yeah, and there's been great outreach from the community. I mean, everybody's been great, especially like, you know, in light of what's been going on with the pandemic and the restrictions that we have, you know, people have been super, super supportive. So, I mean, I'm really, really thankful for everybody to come out and help your local businesses, your local breweries. So thank you.
And that's great. We've been talking about this with some other podcasts and other things we've been on lately. And, you know, the community support just seems to be there for these breweries. And I think the small town brewery in every town is coming back. Like that kind of what maybe our parents grew up with, but we never saw.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we grew up in a very like big beverage industry where like that was it. Miller Lite was the only thing on the menu. You know, there were no other options, so it's awesome to see the community coming out and supporting all of this because you guys are doing amazing things. Like there was no Greensburg Craft Beer Week growing up. There was no tap room, anywhere, much less downtown Greensburg. So I think all of that is working together. And again, thank you to our awesome community supporting the Pour Tour, local brewers, Craft Beer Week, and all of these amazing things so we can keep growing every year, even in the middle of a pandemic. You know, nothing stopped. We have Pour Tour 2.0. We have Craft Beer Week, fourth straight year. You know, no hiatus for anything.
No. It's funny because we were on a different podcast. I didn't know they talked about us. And like, I always get nervous. They didn't call me. So I was like, what are they going to say? And they said really nice things. So it was fine. But they're kind of just going for it normally and just hoping that everyone, you know, follows the rules and kind of stays socially distant. And we've seen a lot of that during the week, you know, everyone kind of, you know, making sure that, you know, the hand sanitizing stations and swearing them out, like being compliant.
Yeah. People have been really respectful to each other.
Yeah, to each other. And even though, like, you know, if it's a little bit busy in there or their capacity is full, then, you know, they'll come because there's usually more than one event that night. They'll hop around. So, which is nice. Like some nights we have, I think this Thursday we have 8 events, which is a lot. And it's a lot for me because I go to every event and pop in, you know, and take pictures and stuff. So it's nice to like, you're able to go to all those events at one night. So. Especially when they're downtown here, it's easy to walk.
Exactly. And that's something that's so nice too. Everything is so walkable now that I can just park in Greensburg and like hit all these different places, or even park in Irwin and hit a brewery and a meadery and all these other things. Like it's just, I don't know.
It's so nice. And I like my thing is like, I love to walk around downtown and find new stuff. Cause like I found a new store the other day that's opening in Greensburg. So, you know, you find things you don't normally find if you're driving around. So.
Exactly. And then you can make a whole day of it. You don't even have to be a drinker or someone that's into craft beverages. You can just come down here and eat really good food, find awesome shops nearby. Like there's so much to do and like different niches. It's not just clothing stores. It's like pretty much there's a lot of different interests, I think, being represented downtown.
Yeah. It's definitely changing and it's shifting. And We're seeing it. There's more coming that I know of that I can't talk about yet, but unfortunately.
Jess is like a vault of secrets. That's kind of from being, in charge of your craft beer week and what you do with your business. Everybody likes to tell Jess what's going on.
and then I don't tell anybody until I write an article, and then they find out. So yeah, so there is going to be more coming into town, and that's going to be really exciting because it's only going to help everybody. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many shares did that caffeinated blog get? Did it crash your entire website? It was so popular.
I think it's happened before. Like that one crashed. There's been a few articles that are so popular it'll crash the site, which is fine.
That's great.
It's fine. We'll put it back up.
The site will go back up. Please crash her site when she posts new stuff.
I only panic. It's fine.
Well, that's awesome. So we learned a lot about downtown Greensburg. So now I want to, turn it over to Sean, and let's talk more about Invisible Man, where we are here today. Why don't you, tell us a little about yourself, about the concept of the brewery, what's going on here?
So basically, like I said before, we're in downtown Greensburg. We're the only brewery as of now in downtown Greensburg. We've been open since October of last year, so we're approaching our 1-year anniversary, and we have a couple big things coming. So some are still kind of in the works right now, but we are putting in a kitchen in the back. We're partnering with Black Hat Bistro. It's going to be all scratch-made food. So we're going to have bread for sandwiches that's made from our spent grain, like homemade soups, homemade salad dressings, salad sandwiches. I think it's going to be a nice addition to Greensburg and what we have going on. Plus, it'll be a nice addition to the brewery. A partnership between a kitchen and a brewery is always successful for both parties. So I think it'll be a nice change of pace for us. Getting into the food game, so to speak. And then we're doing our first can release this Friday. We're going to be releasing our 90 Miles to Cuba key lime pie sour. So that's going to be our first official can beer. So yeah,
finally.
Big news. I know Jess has been bugging me about it for months, but we didn't want to rush anything. We wanted to make sure that we had all of our ducks in a row, so to speak, before we started to take these next steps into furthering our business and getting into different avenues as far as beer distribution and whatnot. So I think it's about that time. So we're ready to go, ready to take the next step here.
Man,
and that's a good beer to release too, because it was the first round of that beer was really popular. You
I had it. I can like that being in cans. I will be here Friday. Make no mistake.
Yeah. So when we did release earlier in the summer, it was a big hit. Sold out real quick. So I wanted to bring it back to it just to can. So yeah, I mean, it'll be here, for limited time.
Man, amazing. So make sure that's 2 exclusives. So we have the kitchen coming here. So this can be your one-stop shop, which I love. I love breweries that also have like the food, or you can order it in, or here, made on, from scratch on site.
Absolutely. Which
sounds phenomenal. So now you can make a whole evening of it here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, come, you can eat, you can drink, you can watch. We normally have Star Wars, or like maybe now the Distillers are playing again. You can catch a football game. We're your new one-stop shop in Greensburg.
I love it. I mean, look, this place is also wide open. Everything's distant. Jess was hinting at it earlier. Like everyone's done a great job, I think, with the spacing, with making everything socially distant as possible. Yeah. And we're going up to 50% Friday anyway, right?
I thought it was yesterday.
Or was it yesterday? We're already hitting it.
21st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we're there. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're already at 50%. We're like, but everyone's still like playing it cool. I've been to a lot of different breweries and I felt super safe. So it's great to still come out and support that, even if you're just grabbing a growler or something, or your new cans to go.
Yeah.
So what new things do we have coming up for Pour Tour? Because that's what I was really interested in talking with you today about. I know I saw a couple new names in the book that we were going over it before the podcast, but I think it'd be good to, just talk about some new stuff.
Sounds great. Yeah. So we have a lot of places. Some places were unofficially added before. So now they are all like printed in the book and you can get all of their stickers there. So one thing, because, we're in a brewery. We are excited that we now have every brewery in the Laurel Highlands added to the Laurel Highlands Pour Tour.
That's awesome.
So Somerset, Fayette, Westmoreland County, if you brew beer, like you are in this book. So like we are super pumped about that. So new for the 2020 book, we are adding Illusion Brewing, which is in Vandergrift.
Yeah.
So that's coming soon. So I mean that new Ken Vandergrift area becoming a super big hotspot for beer all of a sudden.
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
Voodoo's up there and
Voodoo, Connie Creek, and now Illusion. So you can make like a day trip to the new Ken area and like hit three breweries.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like I would have never imagined that going on, and like that coming back in one place is amazing.
Well, I think it's really exciting too because now the people that are participating in the Pour Tour, they can have like maybe one day over the weekend. You can hit Greensburg, and then along with Greensburg, we're close to Delmont, Export, Latrobe.
Yeah.
You can go up to New Ken, the Vandergrift area, and you have those breweries.
The Irwin Loop is nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, you have like a whole like separate day trips that you don't have to like feel like you're like packing everything all in one weekend. So you can spread it out, and I think it's exciting.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, in all these places opening, like I've met the owners and like I've had their beer, and like these are going to be like standard places now that get worked in everyone's trip out here. It's going to be talked to just like you guys or Four Seasons or All Saints. Like, it's going to be up there with that name recognition. So that's why we're excited to add all of these places. So we are going to have Sobel's Obscure Brewery. So they have their tap room open right now. They're temporary. They're going to shut it down for the winter, and then they're going to pop back up again in the spring with their permanent location in Jeanette.
Oh, that's great.
So they have a great space. They're going to be right across from that bandstand that they're putting up. So it is really going to be a one-stop shop, especially when there's no restrictions and we get through this pandemic. So we're talking go over there. They'll probably have food trucks, great beer, and then go across and see a concert in the park, something like that.
That's going to be a nice, that's going to be it's going to be good for Jeanette too to have that. I mean, they've already done a great job. I was at their pop-up Sunday for breakfast at the brewery. It was fantastic. And like the pop-up's real cute, and they have like music there, and it's dog friendly in the pop-up. So because it's a little patio, so it was really nice. And when they opened their like permanent location, the tap room is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, those guys are great too.
Yes. It's been a great journey. I first met one of the owners. He was literally giving out samples in a beer distributor in Monroeville, like tiny little place, but they always have good craft stuff. So that's why I go there. And there he was. And I walked in and got that, left with a 6-pack. And like, I've now liked Sobel's for years. So now I'm seeing them in Shop and Save. Now they're getting this permanent location.
Oh, I know. It's great. I mean, their growth has come like
like
they really took off. I mean,
they're always at the Ligonier Market. On Saturdays, they were part of Craft Beer Week. I don't think the first year. I think the second year, I believe. And they were brand new. They didn't even have a location at that point. They were contract brewing, and they to go from there to what they are now is just really cool.
Yes. Yeah. So welcome to Sobel's to the Pour Tour as well. We have so Voodoo now has their permanent location open. So they were in the last book, and it was kind of just like a pop-up. So now Voodoo is permanently open. You can go there anytime, even throughout the winter, and get your sticker there. So that's exciting. Unity in Latrobe has now been officially added.
Yeah.
They opened right before the pandemic. Like days before the pandemic. So
but, I mean, they've been putting out great beer the whole time. And I know Kevin and what's up, guys, down in Unity, and no, they're doing a great job. Food's amazing, and they set up a little outdoor area. So I mean, throughout all this and the restrictions that we all had to go through, like people were able to go outside. So I mean, that was a big help too during the summer.
Absolutely. So, and great beer. I mean, even like random things like pickle beer, which you're like,
oh yeah.
So I went there for the release, and there must have been 10 guys behind me, and everyone had the pickle beer. Like it was like an event to come out to this thing. Then I had a bunch of friends go over the weekend, and they like couldn't believe, like people I never in my life imagined drinking it and loving it.
Yeah, I mean, it was like such a unique thing, but like, I mean, it was like. It was refreshing, crisp. I mean, it was just a really fantastic beer, especially for the summer. Like, I mean, I loved it. I had probably 2 or 3 when I was there, and then by the next time I went, it was gone. So
yes,
bring it back, please.
I know.
Unfortunately, I do not like pickles, but that's okay. I like pickled things, just not pickles. So
I got you.
You're a real party pooper.
I'll drink any other beer. So
That's true.
Yeah, and they serve. I mean, like their maple bacon stout, like they do every style. So
so they've had some really good ones lately. So
yeah, and so Connie Creek, we already mentioned them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other brewery that we've added as well. So we are talking like almost 20 breweries in our area now to hit. There's 40 locations, so almost half of them being breweries for everyone to go out and check out. So if you're a craft beer lover and that's all you do, you can still do 20 stops and get 2 prize levels, even if you don't go anywhere else. So you can get that. You can get one of our T-shirts or something like that, and go from there. So yeah, we are really excited for all the breweries that we've added. So thanks for asking about that.
Yeah, hey, I mean, I'm always looking to try new breweries. Just because like we've been so busy, trying to crank out new beers and like just keep business like alive,
Mm-hmm.
because with the pandemic, you kind of have to restructure your game plan. So just distribution. We're doing outside like different pop-up events, and then along with the business we've been doing in the brewery and to go, it's been a busy couple months. So I mean, it's nice to know like, hey, now that things are getting back to normal a little bit, all these breweries are thriving and will continue to grow again. It'd be nice to get out and try some new stuff.
Yeah.
And it was really fun this weekend to see like you guys. I kind of laughed a little bit because it was so busy, like between the pop events you did and here. And it was like everyone, like on Sunday morning, we're all like, oh my God, what happened this weekend? Because it was just crazy. And it wasn't from like drinking or anything. It was because we were all working so hard to make like whatever we were doing that night, whatever the events were, like a success and giving everybody this beer. And it was really fun to see like that, like, oh, things are so slow. And because even though like with Craft Beer Week and it's going on for it's the 4th year and we market it and everything, you still don't know what's going to happen, especially in the pandemic. So it was kind of like a fingers crossed moment starting on Friday, but like to see that reaction and everyone kind of out and about, and then seeing like the reaction of like the breweries that were participating, it was really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, it was like I said before, I appreciate the support from the community. We saw a lot of friends we haven't seen in a while. And everybody was respectful of the rules, respectful of each other. It's nice to see that camaraderie again. Things have been a little weird lately, so it's nice to see like smiles on people's faces again.
Absolutely.
And just like when we had the block party, the fact I had so many people come up to me and being like, you need to do this every weekend. I was like, one, no. I mean, I'm looking to do it again in October, but just like people were so excited to be outside and grab a beer and grab some food and play cornhole. Like that's all people wanted to do was just do that. And then, they were still really respectful, wearing masks and, distancing each other. But to see like, and people I've never even seen before come out of the woodwork. Like there were so many people at that event. I had no idea who they were. No idea. And it was cool because they were getting to try 3 different breweries that day and come out into Greensburg and support, everybody. So it was a good weekend, and it was cool to really see everybody come out.
Good. And I have to thank you for helping me get through pandemic, because like when we were like completely locked down, I mean, we were going nowhere. So like every Saturday I would just like make a trip. And Invisible Man was one of my trips I made a lot. Is like, I'm just going to get on the road, drive. The road was empty. It was like Walking Dead on the highways.
I know. It was weird.
It was kind of cool now because you get everywhere real quick.
Oh my gosh. I got to like Greensburg from Monroeville in like 20 minutes. Like, it was great. Like, took every road, like no one's on it. But like just being able to pop in, like support, like just grab a growler. Now I have growlers from everywhere.
No, you should see my whole shelf in my kitchen is all different growlers from all over Westmoreland, Allegheny County. Because just like you said, you get sick of sitting at home, so you tie your mask on, get in the car, get somewhere super quick, grab some beer, bring it back home, and just enjoy it, relax. And I got to try like. Probably like 6 or 7 new breweries that I never had an opportunity to before. But now I have 6 or 7 new growlers in my kitchen.
Like, I don't know what to do with these.
Yeah. I know at the corner of my kitchen, there's like, I have this shelf that like perfectly fits a growler, and now it's like, I've maxed out that capacity. At the beginning, I wasn't a growler guy, but like pandemic turned me real quick.
Yeah. Hey, now we have these collections to start. So
and a lot of places like you couldn't take a growler in to get it refilled. So you had to purchase a growler, which was great for the breweries because you're purchasing these growlers, and the people, they get to have like a keepsake. But so not everybody has a lot of crowd.
Right. And the other thing, like the silver lining, like I try to be optimistic about like through everything. If there's anything we got out of this, it's everybody canning their beer, which I am like super pumped with. Like, I mean, all of our beer is awesome, but if you were a Laurel Highlands like beer fan, like your beer fridge would be pretty limited. You know, at the beginning of this, there were only a couple places really that were bottling or canning or anything. Yeah. But now I feel like maybe half of our places have some sort of cans you can take.
Almost every. I think there's only a couple that don't, but they'll do like growlers instead, which is you know, fine as well. So
yeah, we were just doing growlers and crowlers before, and then you know, like I said earlier, we're going to start canning. We have our first can release this Friday. But yeah, no, I mean it's been great. Even people that we're just putting on like, you know, like a one-stop shop label, and then, you know, just to write down like what, you know, the different beers and everything. It made it so much easier to get your beer out and get into people's hands. So, I mean, that was a fantastic move by everybody. I mean, we showed up a little late to the party, but nothing's stopping us now.
We've had the cans all labeled real pretty.
But it's
so we need a photo shoot, so we were ready.
My beer
fridge. The beer in the can. Yeah,
right. I know we've had the can. I've had that can photo on my phone for a while. But yeah, it's so nice. Like I feel like my beer fridge is now much happier because I just have like Newcrest, like you said, they're just going, they're writing the name on the side, and like Bloom, and even like super smaller places. And now I have all these awesome cans, and I can really stock up my beer fridge. And I don't know, especially for fall, like this is when I'm ready to like hunker down for winter. Like I want every Oktoberfest, pumpkin beer, porter, like styled, like give me all your dark stuff and I want it loaded in my fridge for winter.
Well, speaking of pumpkin and porters, we actually have a pumpkin porter out right now. Black Wizard's pumpkin porter. It's on draft right now. So it's a seasonal beer. Again, same with the key lime pie, limited quantity. So come down, get it while you can. Take some home if you want to take a growler or crowler home with you. Also, you know, keep a lookout for the rest of the weekend for Craft Beer Week and everything, because we'll be out at different spots, and then we'll be doing pop-ups here in the future at different places. So follow us at Invisible Man Brewing and on Facebook, Invisible Man Brew on Instagram, and you know, get your pumpkin porter fill while supplies last.
I love the plug. I love the plug.
You'll have to sneak a taste before you leave.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I saw even your art for that was really cool. Like it really just caught my attention. So yeah, and like the name is cool. Like, so what goes into that? So let's go to, Invisible Man. Is this like MGM Monsters thing, or, you know, so tell me about like, what is the concept of Invisible Man?
So when we were, I guess, like brainstorming and coming up with the ideas for the brewery, you know, it's like, we have the beer, we have the recipes, we have like the crew that we're going to get together. You know, what kind of name should we call us? You know, call this whole project. And there's so many crazy like creative names for breweries, and so it's like, you know, you got to come up with something like really special. And Ted, my partner, he's also our brewer. He's real big into kind of, I guess, fiction and reading. He's like, and also Dungeons and Dragons. He's a huge Dungeons and Dragons guy.
I love it.
So he loves fantasy, loves science fiction. But he was thinking, like, you know, why don't we call it Invisible Man? Because we could come up with some really awesome artwork, like a really great theme for the brewery. Our labels, you know, we can come up with like some crazy like monster stuff. And then also we brew downstairs. So our brewery is multi-leveled. So the actual brewing goes on in like the basement section, and then the tap room, which we're at right now, is on like the first level. So Ted's considered the Invisible Man because he's downstairs doing all his work and creating magic, and we're upstairs, you know, kind of, you know,
drinking it
and running the tap house. So you know, it kind of all went together, and we liked it, and we just ran with it.
I love it. Well, cheers to the Invisible Man, Ted. Hey. Thank you for all the amazing beer.
Out once.
Yeah.
Did he pop on camera?
I don't know if you probably saw him maybe a little bit there, but he came out and back.
All right, Easter egg if you're watching this on YouTube. You may have seen the Invisible Man briefly. Not by design, so that's a great little bonus. So yeah, I guess, you know, we're going to be wrapping up here in a little bit. So let's just talk about the future. Like, we're getting through this pandemic. We're back up to 50%. You know, where are we looking for Craft Beer Week for next year? Or are there other downtown Greensburg beer events that are being planned?
Yeah, so I'm looking to do another block party this fall, because why not? Because it seemed to go okay. So we're going to maybe do it again. Once I get the okay from the city to shut the street down, then we'll move forward with getting some breweries and food trucks and everything. So hopefully we'll find out about that soon. But so that's happening this year. We're just doing like our normal events. We usually do Luminary Night and Small Business Saturday for the rest of the fall. And then next year, we're going to try to do as much as we possibly can. The block party events, the night market. Oh, I have 2 night markets left this year too. Oh, geez. Like in like 2 weeks. Yeah, whoops. Night markets and just do a bunch of events next year. Then next year is also the 5th year for Greensburg Craft Beer Week. So I've been planning that since last year. Like for next year. So just some ideas I have to make it really special for the 5th year, especially after this year. I think everybody deserves a little bit of an extra special week.
What goes on at the night markets?
So at night market, we have about 40-ish vendors over on Pennsylvania Avenue, right behind the county courthouse, and just farmers and artisans. We have breweries that normally come and sell cans. So maybe if the beer is canned, we can have you.
There we go.
And sometimes we do have it open where people can drink too, because we have so many of the distilleries and wineries that are there. And it's just a nice night to come out and shop and support local businesses. And a lot of the stores are open late that night as well. So you can come in, go to the night market, go to the stores, pop in the brewery, grab some food at a restaurant, and have a good time. Yeah, but we have 2 of those left, October 1st and October 29th. And that'll be the rest of the season.
Perfect. Yeah. That sounds amazing. And yes, bring your Pour Tour passport to night market or when you're going to farmers markets, because you never know who's going to show up there. I know like Bushy Run Winery doesn't have a physical location yet, but you can go and find them at almost all of our markets and things like that and get a sticker right there. So again, when you guys are canning, boom, a lot of times the stickers are available, make your purchase, and you can check in with the app right there, and we'll give you credit for that. So yeah, you can do the Pour Tour even as you're attending these festivals. You don't even have to make it into the brewery sometimes.
Yeah, every time that we go pour beer anywhere off-site, we always have our Pour Tour stickers on us. So anybody that's participating, feel free to ask for a sticker and we'll hook you up.
So I guess we'll just end with Sean then. We talked about the kitchens coming, some of your can releases, or any other big news you want to share at this time, or even just maybe some fall beers that may be in the works?
So we have our Brown Ale coming out again this week, Doc Brown. We're going to have a kind of like a super dank West Coast style IPA that should also be out within the next week. And we're just trying to continue the good momentum. We're looking for another tap room, so possibly a second location coming soon for Invisible Man Brewing. So, like I said before, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, keep up with any updates, and, get on the ground level with any good news that we have coming up.
And how about Jess? Go ahead and plug your stuff.
Oh, yeah. So you can follow Downtown Greensburg Project on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on our website, downtowngreensburgproject.com, for all kinds of stuff that we do and promotions we do for local businesses and events that happen. And then for Greensburg Craft Beer Week, it's greensburgcraftbeerweek.com, and then Greensburg CBW on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And on those, you'll find all the events that are happening for the rest of the week, and then keep track of that also for next year when we kind of go all out. So.
I love it. We'll be there too. Yes. We have big things in the works, nothing ready to announce yet, but more things in Pour Tour 2.0 still to come. So that just remains for me, Jared Bundy with the Laurel Highlands and the Laurel Highlands Pour Tour. Just to remind you to go ahead and start looking for this passport in the next few days. Best way to do that, follow us on Facebook at Laurel Highlands Pour Tour or on Instagram at LH Pour Tour. And you can also go to lhpourtour.com and request your passport. We're done printing the old one, so you can go ahead and get your new one if you put in your request now. So we are super excited to start this. Again, 40 locations, all new prizes, meeting great people like I have beside me here today to pull this off and to make this something that's fun to do. Bachelor parties, doing as a date night. We have people coming in from all over the place, finding it creative ways to complete the Pour Tour. So thanks a lot to my guests for joining me today. I really appreciate you guys being here and for inviting me into your tap room to do this.
Thank you, man. I mean, I appreciate the opportunity. I think it's a great thing that you guys are doing, and it's been great for our business, and I know a lot of the other breweries really appreciate it too. So thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go drink some beer. All right. Signing off. Thanks, everyone.